Well, obviously it's something that people are talking more and more about. One of the things that concerns me a bit is the blurred definition. It doesn't seem to mean the same to everybody. And that is a problem, I think.
Fake news is the extreme right now. I don't even watch the news because I cannot trust what is real, what is not real. So for me, it's kind of like a hunt and gather for finding out the truth in the media. I think that this past election year, it was huge. I didn't know who to believe, what to believe.
To me, propaganda is a message that you have with a specific purpose behind it to rally support for your cause or yourself. And it's different from news in that it isn't really based on facts necessarily, or you have facts that you twist those around to have a certain message and a certain outcome in mind.
Basically, propaganda is to try and convince somebody something that you want them to believe that's negative about another entity, so to speak. Propaganda and fake news are almost the same thing. The entire fake news propaganda is some media agenda.
Well, one reason is the president uses it in his own way. To him, it seems like fake news is news that is negative towards him or that he doesn't like. That's his definition. My definition, and I think what most journalists would say, is fake news is news that sometimes is made up or very selective when it comes to facts and hasn't gone through what is important in journalism, and that is a sort of vetting process where you check out facts, you have quality control. A reporter hands a story over to an editor, and the editor says, you have to do this again, or this doesn't make sense. It's sort of a quality control two-step thing, which you don't always find. I mean, it's easy to report or spread facts around, but what traditional media do have is this division of labor that amounts to quality control.
Well, I do. I think they're more person-driven or user-driven. So at least there's conversations, and it's one-on-one conversation. So you can have an argument about your political beliefs, and you may not have a meeting of the minds, but at least you're opening other people up to other viewpoints. And so perhaps maybe those will be the best outlets to get the news that you want out to other people.
I think they can be used, but I think one thing that has happened is that, for better or for worse, what the internet allows you to do is to filter out news you don't like or you don't agree with. If you take the old style newspaper, everybody had the same news, and you could disagree about that, but now if you don't like a certain viewpoint, you can actually filter that out. The nice thing about the internet is that it has made freedom of expression a level playing field. That is, you can do a website that looks pretty good, and almost perhaps as good as CNN or a newspaper website, but doesn't mean that the stuff you put on there has the same legitimacy. So I think we just need to be a little more aware of all the information that's out there and be a little more critical when we take it in. How do you spot news that is fake? The internet is a wonderful thing, but it has meant that you can get something from some website and you have no idea whether it's true or not. So way back when I started in journalism school, we had a course called source criticism or source analysis, which was not the most lively course I ever took, but where you look and you say, okay, I have this assertion. How can I find out whether it's true or not? How do I look at a website? Can I figure out who's behind this? Doesn't mean it's necessarily not legit, but I think we have to be a little more critical when we look at these things and say, okay, is this from a website, or is this somebody making something up in his basement somewhere? We sort of cast suspicions against journalism which I don't think always are true. Just because a story has negative implications doesn't necessarily mean that it's degrading. That's how you serve the public. I don't think you can stop it. I don't think we should. That's censorship, so I would be against that. But as I said before, I think just being a little more critical and say, okay, where does this come from? Is this some far-fetched allegation, or what is behind this? Has somebody gone out, interviewed people? Has this been gone through an editor and been sort of vetted, if you want to use that term? And is it legit in that sense? Or is this just some rumor that somebody's passing on? We just need to be better consumers of news, I think. Fake news will always be there, but I just think we can do more to react to it and perhaps not believe it as much as we do.